Speaking of despicable, as I mentioned to start the show today, a judge has temporarily blocked Trump's plan to stop Harvard enrolling foreign students. The ruling came after Harvard, if you haven't heard of this story, filed a lawsuit in the latest escalation of a dispute between the White House and one of America's most prestigious institutions. Now, the Trump administration is claiming that Harvard has not done enough to fight anti-Semitism and change its hiring and admissions practices, allegations that the university has strongly denied. Now, let me be very clear on this. As someone who I think would have a strong opinion on anti-Semitism, obviously, anti-Semitism should never be tolerated anywhere. Hate should never be tolerated anywhere. But the problem is the Trump administration conflates free speech and infringements on your First Amendment rights. If somebody calls themselves pro-Palestine and they consider Israel to be committing genocide, they have the right to say that. Now, obviously, if you're going to put up a sign that says, I hate all Jews, or we want to exterminate everybody in Israel, obviously a college should get involved there, and there should be no place for that on a university. I understand that. But if you're on a public sidewalk and a public entity, you do have the right to do that. What the Trump administration is doing, then they are infringing on people's First Amendment rights. And that's exactly what they are doing with Harvard. Now, the interesting part about this is U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs, and it's just a matter of time now in 3-2-1 before the Trump administration decides to attack her and her family. She put a temporary restraining order in a short ruling that was issued earlier this morning. It pauses the move that the Department of Homeland Security made on Thursday to revoke Harvard's access to the Student Exchange Visitor Program. Now, if you listen to right-wing buffoons out there like Randy Fine, who is a complete imbecile, he is defending, of course, what the Donald Trump administration is doing. Have a listen to what Randy Fine had to say about what the Trump administration is trying to do to Harvard.
What do you make of this move against Harvard?
Well, I also went to Harvard, and I can tell you, 35 years ago when I was there, you saw a lot of this stuff, but I never felt unsafe as a Jewish student being there. That's what's different today. And if I were to make any encouragement to President Trump and Secretary Noem, it would be do this everywhere. We should not be bringing people into America to get an education who hate us. They should be coming here to get an education, and frankly, they should keep their mouths shut beyond that. I don't go into someone else's house and complain about it when I'm there. They're guests in our country, and they should realize that. And there's a real problem with folks not understanding that.
Well said. Congressman Randy Fine, thanks very much for being with us.
Yeah, very well said, Randy Fine. Very, very well said. Randy Fine, just like any MAGA morons out there, will do and say anything and curl themselves into a pretzel to defend Donald Trump, know how egregious it is that they are doing. And this is against our First Amendment rights. Let's call it for what it is. If you say something that is anti-Israel on a college campus, they're going to punish you for that. They might deport you and send you to an El Salvador prison for 20 years. Is that okay with anybody? So they're infringing on our First Amendment rights. They're not giving people due process. We know that for a fact. Marco Rubio is a coward. He's defending what Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and Tom Homan want to do. So I have no respect for him. You have Cory Booker, who somehow is voting for Jared Kushner's father. I will never defend Cory Booker again. He can do a one-year filibuster, and it wouldn't matter to me anymore. I will never defend Cory Booker ever again. I believe that's corruption. I don't believe Cory Booker just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to vote for this guy because I think he's a great guy. No, I think it's corruption. You have all this stuff going on across the country, and Donald Trump has decided to play golf over the weekend at one of his own golf clubs in Bedminster, New Jersey. Go figure, right?